Hello, DMG or Jim here, continuing along on the Reading the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide series. We're still in Chapter 3, Dungeon Master's Toolbox, working through the list in alphabetical order. Quick short video here, quick short section, maybe a little bit of commentary. I'll provide some more resources if you want to explore this a little bit more, both in older libraries, but we'll get to that at the end. So let's read here. The next section is fear and mental stress. Due to the nature of their vocation, adventurers tend to be less susceptible to fear and mental stress than common folk. Whereas a farmer might flee in terror from a bear or an apparition, adventurers are made of sterner stuff. That said, certain creatures and game effects can terrify or fray the mind of even the most stalwart adventurer. If you plan to use any of these rules, discuss them with your players at the start of the campaign. See Ensuring Fun for All in Chapter 1. Fear effects. Whenever a character encounters something that is supernaturally frightful, use the frightened condition as the baseline effect. Fear effects typically require a wisdom saving throw with a save DC based on how terrifying the situation is. The sample fear DCs table provides some examples. The sample fear DCs, the left side is giving you an example, the right side is giving you a save DC. The first example, when the characters open a sarcophagus, a harmless yet terrifying apparition appears, a save DC of 10 to startle them. A character triggers a magical trap that creates an illusory manifestation of that character's worst fears, visible only to that character. That could be a save DC of 15. A portal to the abyss opens, revealing a nightmarish realm of torment and slaughter with a save DC of 20. Small, quick little table there that gives you some examples and some save DCs. Typically, a frightened creature repeats a saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. At your discretion, a frightened creature might be subject to other effects as long as the frightened condition lasts. Consider these examples. The frightened creature must take the dash action on each of its turns and uses its movement to get farther away from the source of its fear. Or attack rolls against the frightened creature have advantage. The frightened creature can do only one of the following on each of its turns: move, take an action, or take a bonus action. So the next section is called mental stress effects. When a character is subjected to an effect that causes intense mental stress, psychic damage is the best way to emulate that effect. The sample mental stress effects table provides a few examples of such effects with suggested saving throw DCs and damage. Mental stress can usually be resisted with a successful wisdom savings throw, but sometimes an intelligence or charisma save is more appropriate. On a successful save, a character might take half as much damage instead of no damage at your discretion. Here's a short table similar that will give us sample mental stress effects, including the example followed by the save DC, followed by the psychic damage in D6s. The first one is a character ingests a hallucinogenic substance that distorts the character's perception of reality. The save DC for this would be 10, and the psychic damage suffered might be a D6. A character touches a fiendish idol that tears at the character's mind, threatening to shatter it, with the save DC of 15, and 3d6 is the psychic damage. A magical trap flings a character into the far realm until the end of the character's next turn, requiring a save DC of 20 and causing up to 9d6 of psychic damage. Now we have prolonged effects. Exposure to mental stress can cause prolonged effects. Consider the following possibilities. Short-term effects. The character has the frightened, the incapacitated, or the stunned condition for 1d10 minutes. This condition might be accompanied by alarming behavior or hallucinations. These effects can be suppressed with the Calm Emotion spell or removed by the Lesser Restoration spell. Long-term effects. The character has disadvantage on some or all ability checks for 1d10 times 10 hours, stemming from an unwillingness or an inability to exert a particular set of abilities. The character might feel enervated and unable to exert much strength, for example, or become so suspicious of others that charisma checks are more difficult. These effects can be suppressed with the Calm Emotion spell or removed by Lesser Restoration spells. Indefinite effect. An indefinite effect is a long-term effect, see above, that lasts until removed by a greater restoration spell. It can be suppressed by calm emotions. And that's kind of where the section leaves off. So, this is a quick summary of fear and mental stress examples. Now, most of the time, a game adventure is going to come with the necessary information when fear or when mental stress becomes a game mechanic. For example, Curse of Strahd, that goes into a lot of depth in regards to applying when to apply fear, when to apply terror, how it kind of works separately. So, number one, to a new dungeon master, this section is kind of light. This is more giving you examples of how to build it for your own on the fly. This is your tools for your toolboxes. Published campaigns and the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft is going to give you a lot of information. If you really want to get into some mechanics, you can look at some of the old 2E Ravenloft campaign settings. There's pages upon pages of information about short-term, long-term stress and fear and terror and the difference in between. So there's a plethora of information out there. But this section does give you enough of a basic idea to start out for when you want to give the jump scare. The ghost pops out of the coffin. Everyone rolls DC 10 or it goes frightened. Now, frightened means until the source of their fear goes away, so the ghost can fade away, and next round everyone's like, ooh, shit, what was that? So that's a quick and easy way to do it. And you can get even deeper and deeper. These are going to give you guidelines to start out with, having these in your present in your own game and be able to improvise these moments as well when you feel they're necessary rather than waiting for the module to come in. Short chapter, short little video, not a lot to be said. If you want to get more into it, look into other resources. You can go back in the 2014 5e. Again, Van Richten's Guide. I insist that that's a must to add to your library if you want to get into the terror, the fear, the unnerving aspect of the game. It's a really, really good book. Again, I'm not a shill for anyone. I believe in what I believe in. So that's the end of this one here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. The next section is going to be firearms and explosives. This is going to be... I'm going to do a lot more reading, a lot less commenting. I'll leave it at that. But hey, good to have you here. Likes, follows, subscribes are appreciated. Jump on over to Twitch. I have a Patreon, man. If you want to help our brother keep getting the series going, feel free to sub up over there and help a guy stay in business. But more than anything, thank you for your time, and we'll catch you on the next video.